Imagine two employees. They have several years of working experience, they're good at what they do, and have a stable performance level. Imagine both of them are offered a promotion, and not just a promotion, but to a managerial position. For example, become a team lead. But what if I tell you that one of them will thrive in this new role and the other one will fail miserably? One will bring value to the company and the team and will genuinely enjoy this role, while another one will only struggle with the need to manage others. And most importantly, how can you know if you should take a managerial position or not if given a chance? As you've already guessed from a thumbnail, there are two potential career directions that you as employee can take. They are usually described as manager or expert. Today I will tell you about both paths, how they different, what are the benefits and drawbacks of each one, and how to identify which one is for you. This video will be quite content heavy, but understanding both directions and which one suits you personally is crucial for your professional journey. And super quickly before we moved on, if you recently joined my super tiny channel, hello! I'm very happy that you're here, feel free to stick around. Also, I'm wearing a t-shirt with a pretty dramatic moment from Naruto, which is not connected to the topic that I'm gonna cover today whatsoever, I promise. Now let's go. Throughout our career, we as working people occupy different roles. We start as juniors and then we gain expertise and experience. At a certain point, many of us are given a chance to be promoted to a managerial position, a role where from individual contributors we shift to managing other individual contributors. Imagine a symphony orchestra where the conductor skillfully guides each musician, bringing them together to create a harmonious melody. Similarly, managers orchestrate teams, making strategic decisions and ensuring organizational success. I know that analogy is imperfect, but I like it. And I also like that an orchestra conductor works with experts, with professionals that show their true talents and shine with conductor's help. I think this illustrates managerial job pretty well. Not a puppeteer that literally tells everyone what to do, but a conductor that orchestrates a group of people that are trusted with their expertise. Similarly, in business, a good manager is supporting the team and helping them to show their best work. In a nutshell, if you are given a chance to take a managerial position, these are the things that you should know. From contributing yourself, you're moving to enabling others to contribute. From influencing only your peers, to work with the stakeholders. From defining your individual tasks to defining your team's objectives. As you will progress in your career as manager, you will first manage individual contributors, then you will manage managers, then you will manage functions or even businesses. But not everyone will succeed on this career track. Why am I doing this? And what's in my opinion even more important, not everyone would actually enjoy this work. By the way, there is a notion in corporate in general and in some countries specifically that at some point of your career you have to become manager, that this is the only way for a career development. And this pushes people to take a track that maybe they don't really want. But we'll get to that later. Now, the question is, what would increase your chances to succeed as manager? Well, there are certain skills that helps you in a leadership role. You will need to communicate a lot, and not only with people from your team, which means that they don't understand the context of your job as well as you do. You will need to explain things that are already natural to you in a way that outsider would understand. On the other hand, you will need to carefully listen to your team, clearly articulate your ideas and give feedback. Effective communication is at the core of successful leadership. Period. Also, because managerial role often means more interpersonal interactions, managers should be good at identifying and managing emotions. Hello, emotional intelligence. You will need to make decisions that affect not only you but your team, and sometimes not nice decisions. With great power comes great responsibility, and in this case it means that because in a managerial position you have more power over your team or your unit, you will be actually the one who would face the consequences of these decisions of yours. That's why you need to think strategically beyond your day-to-day tasks and generally have a broader perspective on things. Finally, you cannot be a manager and still act like you're an individual contributor. You should be able to accept that you won't know and control everything and trust your team with the job that they are responsible for. I myself have picked this career many years ago and I do not regret it. Although it's also fair to share with you the drawbacks drawbacks, or maybe it's better to say the challenges that you will face as a manager. And the first one is, oh my God, the pressure. Managers bear the weight of responsibility for the success of their teams and achievement of company goals. It means high level of stress, pressure to meet the targets and make important decisions. Also, managing people can be stressful, trust me, especially if you manage a diverse team of experts who have their own opinions and not just executing what you ask them to do. You will be managing conflicts, personality clashes, and deal with different working styles in your team. And from all this mess, you will need to create a healthy and positive environment that promotes collaboration and productivity. Expectations management is a big deal. Sometimes when I work, I feel like I'm an octopus because with each of my hands, I manage different stakeholders, subordinates, superiors, clients, so many people. Each of them wants something from me, each of them require for me to make decisions, and all of them want to be informed about everything. Also, business environment is constantly changing, and it's actually on managers to adapt to it. I mean it. Being resistant to change makes your life as manager much harder. Of course, it depends on the area or the company you work in. But in general, managers or team leaders are the first one to actually deal with the change that a company is going through. Whether it's a new technology, market disruption, or a regulatory change. You take it, you accept it, and you adapt your strategies. I also wanted to say that in this managerial career track, people are often pushed to sacrifice their work-life balance. But then I thought about all the employees that are actually pressured to do the same. So I think it's maybe more dependent on the environment or company you work in than a position that you occupy. But all these challenges are possible to tackle. For example, you can develop your leadership and managerial skills through professional development programs, workshops, or executive education. Prioritize self-care and well-being because it helps managing your resilience, and seek for mentorship and coaching from experienced managers. But becoming a manager is not the only way for you to progress in your career. There is another huge direction that we usually call the expert path. Imagine a brilliant scientist in a lab driven by natural curiosity about the mysteries of the universe. He or she spends countless hours conducting experiments, analyzing data, and making insights that pushes boundaries of human knowledge. As experts in their fields, the scientists spend years developing their skills through education, research, and hands-on experience. They have a deep understanding of the fundamental principles and intricacies in their domain, and this deep expertise enables them to tackle really complex problems and make a significant contribution to their field. Again, maybe it's not a perfect analogy, but I like to think about an expert's career like that. For many people, there is a certain excitement in this intellectual stimulation. They get a deeper sense of purpose when they immerse themselves in this domain they are passionate about. And the path of an expert is not limited only by technical or scientific domains. You can develop a deep expertise in a wide range of fields, like finance or design. The common thread here is a focus on mastery and the dedication to deepen your knowledge and skills. Experts attend conferences, collaborate with other experts, and basically engage in a complex discussions to stay in the forefront of their discipline. They are trusted advisors, consultants, and innovators in their companies. They don't manage teams like a conductor does, and basically maintain their focus in their individual contribution. But what increases the chances for you to succeed as an expert? In my opinion, the biggest one is a passion and the interest in the field. I mean, if you're excited enough about your job, there is a higher chance that you will do it longer without getting tired of your area. By the way, the more expertise you gain in the fields, the higher the chance that this work will be fulfilling for you. Expert's career requires a constant learning. You need to keep up with the latest advancement in your industry, do trainings, and always expand your knowledge. It's kind of relevant for managers as well, but in case of experts, they deepened their knowledge in their domain, when managers are kind of expanded it wider, and managers won't ever get this depth as the expert has. So enjoying having this deep expertise is a very important quality for this career path. Also, and this one is important, some people never even start working on challenging tasks. It's a well-researched phenomenon, and it mostly connected to how safe it was for us to make mistakes in our childhood. I noticed that really good experts have something like a courage to take a hard task together with a light attitude. Something like, okay, this is a hard one, no one done it before, but that's alright, we can do it, we're professionals. It doesn't mean that they can actually figure it out, most definitely not every single time. But this spirit, this attitude of being ready to tackle even a hard task, I think helps them a lot. Finally, we're talking about business here, and business likes stability and continuity. You can be a priceless contributor, but the nature of the organizational management wants to ensure that if you disappear tomorrow, the world won't end. So they often actually value you more if you are capable of passing your knowledge to someone else. At least parts of it. It means an ability to articulate your knowledge in a way that other experts, or maybe even junior ones, would be able to understand it. And by the way, mentoring juniors is generally a good way to systemize your knowledge. But this career, as a managerial one, comes with limitations. The truth is, although the career path of an expert is absolutely real, there is a chance you will have less promotional opportunities than managers. Organizational design may not always provide you a clear path here, and many companies are still more focused on a career track for managers, not for subject matter experts. Kind of like if you want to grow, if you want to earn more money, you go to a team lead position. It's improving a lot. It's not always the case, but there are still a lot of companies who think like that. The next one is pretty important. You can potentially get isolated in your role. By that I mean, experts often work in a specialized project that requires their unique expertise. And because of that, you spend a significant amount of time either just independently working or collaborating with a few experts. And that's basically it. This first limits the opportunities for collaboration, and second of all, can lead to a feeling of detachment and isolation. There is also a risk that your knowledge will become outdated, especially if you work in a high-paced industry. Technological advancements can render expertise obsolete fast. Also, while experts possess a deep knowledge in a certain area, this specialization can lead you to have a rather narrow skill set, or you develop skills that are not easily transferable to other areas. And if something happens and at some point of your life you will need to switch to another field, you can potentially have less options just because your previous experience was so narrow. Finally, everyone expects experts to provide exceptional work all the time. Basically, there is a high pressure for you to maintain a very high standard of your work all the time because you are experts. It is hard, and it requires a strong commitment for you to maintain your professional excellence. And all these challenges are also possible to tackle. For example, you can look at all the things that you learn and try to add more transferable skills for you to develop. You can try yourself in a cross-functional projects to get exposure to different areas of your company. That way you will learn more about business and about yourself. Okay, now let's return to the original question. What suits you better, the managerial career path or the expert one? Both are interesting and both are actually valuable for the business. Organization only thrives with both competent managers and knowledgeable experts. To put it simply, you need to look at two sides of this decision. First one is what you're naturally good at, and second, what you as a person like or want to do. At that point of the video, you already know more about each path. And now it's time to think about you, your unique abilities and strong sides. First, think if you have qualities of a manager. Maybe you don't know it yet because you haven't tried it, but you may have some experience collaborating with with others, or you're naturally initiative when it comes to organizing something, or you know that communicating with others brings you more joy than anxiety. Think about how would you handle the pressure that comes with the managerial role. On the other hand, ask yourself to what extent you are driven by gaining an expertise or desire to become a recognized expert in your field. Experts often derive satisfaction from diving deep into their subject matter, and they are fueled by their curiosity. Do you think that you have that in you? Or maybe when you receive feedback from your peers or managers, what are they usually highlighting as your strong sides? Is it something that tends towards managerial career path or expert one? Think about all the drawbacks of both paths that I've described. For example, if you take a leadership role, you usually have less time for a hands-on work because your time is occupied with managerial tasks. Like if you enjoy coding, be mindful that if you become a team lead, it will lead to you actually spend less time coding. And on the other hand, if you feel that you're not that interested in becoming a very narrow expert in the field, consider widening your horizons with managerial experience. Finally, if we would only do what we're good at and ignored what we actually like or want to do, I don't think it would lead us to a meaningful and fulfilling careers. So take time and contemplate about what direction actually excites you as a person. Who are your role models and which type of these paths your role models have picked and why? Your career decisions should be aligned with your values and desires, not with the momentary need of your management to fill in a certain position. Finally, all that unfortunately does not guarantee that you will make a decision that you will never ever regret in your lifetime. But at least this increases the chances of you being a little bit happier with the direction that you decide to take. Best of luck!